cornering mistakes can really rob you of your flow, but also it's super easy to actually fall off in corners. Whoa, Rich.
Hey, Neil.
New presenter.
I thought I was doing this one.
All right, I'll leave it to you.
I got it from here, buddy, don't worry. So yeah, cornering. We all make mistakes. They're all part of mountain biking. We can't avoid corners, but we're gonna have a little look today at what we can do to improve them. So, whether you're a racer looking to save those milliseconds or just a weekend warrior looking to improve your technique, today we're going to look at some basic types of corners and what we can do in those corners to improve our technique and make our riding a little bit more fun. Generally, Neil, there's no turns the same in mountain biking. They've all got a bit of different variation in them.
That is true. We're at a bike park. There's lots of berms here today.
We are, and we're going to try and look at sort of three main types of turn that you might find. So we're going to look at berms.
Yep.
Switchbacks.
Ooh, the nasty switchbacks.
Yeah, and some flat turns.
Okay, right, I'll handle the berms, shall I?
You do that, and then let's see how you get on.
Berms, the mainstay of the bike park, and we're here at Rogate Bike Park today. Loads of beautiful berms, although even with berms, no two are ever the same. Depends on their size, their shape, how tight they are, also the type of dirt. Now, it's winter in the UK, which normally means it's super wet, but this place is really sandy, so you can see how well it drains, and it's just like sandpaper today. Just a little bit of fluffy dirt on top, super grippy. Now, one thing to think about with berms, if you can, is trying to get nice and high into them. You're using that camber that's going to give you loads of grip. And if you can get nice and high and then drop down out of it, you've got that extra bit of momentum, coming from gravity, of course. The worst thing you can do with a berm is stick your front wheel over the top. There's no coming back from that. That's virtually a guaranteed crash. Also, difference to a lot of other corners, with berms, if you hit them really hard and compress into them, you actually want to keep your feet fairly level. So without dropping the outside foot, stay up on 2 feet, just lower your body and try and find all the grip in that berm.
Cool, thanks for that, Neil. That's some good tips there on berms. But now we're going to move on to flat turns. And now they're a favourite of mine. You'd find them all the time back in old school World Cups. And we're here and we're going to look at some. So we've got a nice classic flat turn where we're going to set up high above these trees, taking a wide line, come behind me onto this flat area where we're then going to sprint out down the trail. There's a few tips and tricks to look at on this one, so let's take a look. All right, so what are common mistakes made in these flat turns? Well, let's break it down and look at this one first. Our entrance, we got a couple of slippy routes, so we're going to have to really think about how we set up to enter this turn. We're going to hop these to then bring us up nice and high. A couple of mistakes that people will make here is they'll be dropping down too low, it'll put them at an awkward angle into the turn and really sort of make things difficult from the very beginning. So we've had a look at the mistakes at the beginning of the turn. Now let's take a look at the middle part of the turn. Here, we've kind of got two sides of this stump behind me that we can go. So we really want to either try and go very high or straight through the middle here. Personally, I would say the middle is the better line, as I think too high is harder to come up onto. The middle line will also give us a nice arc in the turn and carry us some nice speed through. Okay, so this is it, the final part of our turn and the flattest part. We've already decided that we're going to set up nice and wide out here on the far right, but what kind of mistakes do people make when hitting these turns? Now, often you'll see people with their pedals in the wrong position, their body weight will be unevenly distributed, and also braking. Like poor braking can massively affect the amount of grip you have on these turns, especially on something a bit slicker. So let's take a quick look at what you can do to improve that. Let's start with body position. Keeping yourself low in the turn is key, as grip can be a lot less in this kind of turn. Keeping your centre of gravity as low as possible will help you keep all the grip you can. Outside pedals should also be dropped to support this and keep yourself planted with as much weight as possible forced down through the suspension and into the tyres. Right, so finally we've got a switchback or switchbacks. Now these are generally a series or a singular tight turns where you're going to change direction really quickly. Again, like with a lot of other turns, line choice is really key. As you can see here, this is quite a tight turn. We've got an inside line and we've also got a nice high line, which I'm going to have a go at. And we'll see if Neil can have a go at this lower line and see sort of what the difference is.
I like Rich's line, but what I'm going to try and do is stick to this sort of rut. It's kind of bermed up anyway on the inside, and that route is going to be pretty slick. It's a little bit wet, so what I'm trying to do is rail around the inside. The big difference here will be how much speed can I carry on the outside, because that's another big mistake with switchback corners, is sort of stuttering and losing your flow. You want to carry your momentum all the way around, and I can really mess that up by going wide here. So will it be as fast as Rich's? There's only one way to find out. Oh. Same as any corners, try and come off the brakes. This is especially important with really tight switchbacks, where if you touch the brake mid-corner, it's super easy to lose your balance.
Right, Neil, so what have we learned today? Well, there's a lot of different corners, and looking at each one and assessing it, you can really ride each one differently.
Absolutely. My biggest mistake is always forgetting to look around corners. I know I say it all the time, but if I don't ride very often, I realise that's what's messing me up all the time.
Yeah.
Rich, your first ever GMBN video. You didn't fall off like Doddy.
I didn't know. I've stayed rubber side down the whole time.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
It'll happen, it'll happen. If you want to see some more skills videos, down there for how to ride berms, up there for flat corners.
Yep, and don't forget to give us the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button.